Hello and welcome to WNC Original Music episode 96, the Australian soap opera episode. This week, very happy to have Songs of the Folk. They're an acoustic duo from outside of Hendersonville, North Carolina, and they are made up of Tyler and Lauren Cason. Formerly known as Swamp Rabbit Railroad, they have been playing since 2010. They've got a full-length album out called Down by the Riverside, and they're working on an EP right now. And they have a new single out, and it is called Nice and Slow, and they have been nice enough to send that to me to play for you now. Here are Songs of the Folk.
My man, he fought for Lincoln's throes. My man, he fought for Lincoln's throes. When the fighting ceased, he figured it was time to leave. So he took off nice and slow. Into Bonnie made his home. Into Bonnie made his home. He drank the golden booze, married this girl from Veracruz, and we took it nice and slow. We farmed there, but only debt would grow. We farmed there, but only debt would grow. With no money, we figured it was time to leave, so we took off nice and slow. We swam through the Gulf of Mexico. We swam through the Gulf of Mexico. When we finally arrived back through to the American side, we took it nice and slow. We made it into San Antonio. We made it into San Antonio. In time we had a son, we were ever always on the run, but we took it nice and slow. They called my man Huddle-Cho. They called my man Huddle-Cho. The authorities mistook my man for a Mexican crook. Hands up, take it nice and they drop this guillotine, go take it nice and slow. Can't say I was left all alone. Can't say I was left all alone. The suit was finally passed, I received the inheritance. Now I take it nice and slow.
Different songs come about differently, and so that one was one of the ones that I guess just sort of came out of nowhere. I didn't have much intention of writing the story of that song, but I suppose I started with the music on that one, and I had that sort of descending bass line progression, and that phrase "nice and slow" just kind of popped in, I'm humming along, and that phrase pops in at the end of that. So I thought, well, that would be cool to build a song around that phrase, nice and slow. But what in the world do you build it around? You don't want to sound, sexual or dirty. That was my first thought. Now some people might like that, though.
That was your first thought. All right.
That was maybe my third or fourth thought. So I had been reading, and I, don't ask me how, but I'd been reading about Confederate soldiers after the Civil War. They would, they were all pissed off, and so they would go basically to Mexico, Latin America. Brazil was a big place, and they would try to colonize areas in those countries. And so I thought it would be, maybe a funny, somewhat ironic story if there was a Confederate soldier who went to Latin America, in this case Veracruz, and he meets a girl, and then they end up deciding to move back to America, and he's mistaken for some sort of bad person, and his head is subsequently chopped off, the guillotine. And it's just a story, really, with I guess you could dissect it and take different themes out of it, but at the end the girl gets his inheritance. Apparently he had money hiding somewhere. So I tied it up and made it a happy ending,
It sounds like one of those songs that like the traditional folk song that is a fictional account, or maybe like semi-fictional, but also is like almost a little history lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I really like the wordplay. This is something Tyler does a good bit in his writing that's really clever, is to take a phrase and then turn it into different meanings throughout the song. So, at first he's taking it nice and slow, and then the cop tells him, hands up, take it nice and slow,
Mm-hmm.
like a cop would. And then at the end, she takes it nice and slow with all the inheritance money. So,
all the different way you could say that.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, that song required a little bit of research. I didn't just know the term jarocho off the top of my head.
Oh, yeah. What is that? Because you said Confederate jarocho. Is that what the term for?
So that is the term, as I understand it, it's the term for just a person from Veracruz, from the city of Veracruz in Mexico. So, and I think they use it. It's sort of a cultural, maybe akin to like Southerner,
Oh, okay.
We use that like Southern food, Southern person, Southern style.
Yeah. Like Yankee or something like that.
We did pass a food truck once called the Jarocho food truck or something. We were like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Do you ever forgive? If you never forget, do you have enough time to fill all the debts? When you get down to me, ready with a check to be made, just make it out to the one-man band dancing in his own parade. Think you wanna confess to what it is you done wrong? You would never address how I helped you along. Nothing ever is said, 'cause you don't know what to say. Just tell it all to the one-man band dancing in his own parade. In a lonely chateau, you're living worse than the poor. Seems that you'll never know the wouldn't open the door. Now trouble looks like a guest, leaning on the old balustrade. It left no room for the one-man band, dancing in his own parade. You fight your way through the crowd, you push and shove to make peace. You think that by being proud, more respect you'll receive. But you forgot where you are, in the middle of a long cavalcade. And at the front is the one-man band, dancing in his own parade. There's no time for talking. You scream and yell to make peace. You think the louder you sing, the more respect you receive. But your voice is struck mute, and no one hears your refrain. The only sound is the one-man band, dancing in his own parade. When the battle is done, smoke beginning to fade, the only sound from the dogs barking mad in the shade. The sallow-faced brigadier still has his gun at the aim. He's pointing straight at the one-man band, dancing in his own parade.
Yeah, one-man band, that might be my favorite song that I've written. And I don't really have favorites. I like them all, you know. But that song was purely just exploring language and words and kind of similar to Arcade, The Man in the Arcade. We were talking about that one. It's kind of like, you know, yeah, there are some themes and meaning behind it, but it's, for me at least, it's a lot of it is built on just
a poetic mood.
Yeah, a poetic mood, having fun with words.
Yeah. Just saying balustrade and cavalcade.
Cavalcade and balustrade, these words that that at least I think they sound cool. But yeah, you know, there's some thematic quality to that song, but I guess I'm just now realizing how many, you know, again, I build this, how many different ways can I approach this phrase sort of thing, you know, this person of a one-man band, or this concept of a one-man band. It's like all this other noise is happening, but he's the one constant sort of thing. And even in a, not sardonic, but sort of a, you know, haha, gotcha sort of way, you know.
You know what a one-man band has that a lot of other bands don't have?
What's that?
Freedom.
Freedom to play.
So I'm going to count that one as one of the free songs.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to just note everyone that says it says Freedom.
Oh, now you get to watch him eat the chipmunk.
Oh boy.
to the plow, don't you ever look back. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. It's a long road home. I was living in the middle of a sun-scorched land. Your water was black as coal. A remedy, this could be a helping hand. Just a taste will erase your soul. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. It's a long road home. Man, a hungry man said, can you give me some food? I said, sure, here, take this bone. And suddenly the night it turned into noon. And I realized I was alone. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. It's a long road home. I fell asleep underneath a judgment tree. When I woke, you were gone. A rattling snake told me I needed something to eat. But I figured he was wrong. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. It's a long road home. Blind from the sky in the sun-scorched land. The hungry man led me to the waterside. I saw the light fill up the cup of his hand. And a voice said, here am I. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. And to the plow, don't you ever look back. It's a long road home. It's a long road home. It's a long, it's a long road.
That's a very new one.
That is a very new one. It's a recent song.
P-L-O-U-G-H.
Yeah. I feel like that spelling is more archaic, traditional. That's why I like it.
I wonder if that's one of the words that, a lot of the reason there are words that are different from English, you guys might already notice, is because of, I think it was Teddy Roosevelt. There was a movement towards that turn of the 19th century, 18 and 19. And but then I think Teddy Roosevelt really got on board with it and dictated it throughout the government.
The spelling of words, like
how
more
we
simple.
spell, we don't spell humor with an OU.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. Ye, old used to have an E on it.
Yeah,
at the end of it, so like that.
Did he do the daylight savings time too, or no? Is
that FDR? I don't know. Don't put any of those.
I think UGH, is more complex than W.
Wow.
I read this author, Andrew Cartmel, and he does these fun books about a vinyl detective. And I made a face. Do I have to say that?
I think it came through.
A bourgeois face.
Your pause before you about a vinyl detective. That put the parentheses
around. Just hand me my pipe over there. Yeah. But it's funny, he published in 2017, 2018. He's done another one this year, and there's still words that that British people spell differently and use differently, and it's pretty cool. But Hand to the Plow. That one, I was working on a totally different song, and that was sort of a lucky one. That through working on this other song, I hit through this. I guess you would call it a riff. It's just a progression, but the rhythmic nature of that. Yeah, I was mixing it with the other one. I just kind of stumbled upon that, is what I'm trying to say, and so if I'm playing something I like, I'll just start humming and singing along with it. Maybe it's words, maybe it's not, and that is if I don't already have a phrase or something in mind, and so I just sing that phrase, hand to the plow, don't you ever look back. And I even thought that seems too cliche, I'm not going to use that. That'll change, and it never did, because that's what the song was supposed to be. And really the idea of this guy and I guess in a deserted land or something, but he's thirsty, he's hungry. Should he eat this? Should he drink this poison? And from the snake, and then at the end, I think there's a salvation aspect from an unexpected source, I guess. Yeah, that's, and just the idea of just
perseverance.
Yeah, simple perseverance. And just regardless of your occupation or career or station in life or whatever it might be, there's just kind of putting your head down and working through towards what you want.
Yeah. We at one point in our lives we rented a house that had 11 acres, and it had a barn and all these tractors. And Tyler grew up in a family that gardened pretty substantially. And so he grew up doing that kind of stuff. I grew up in a suburb. And so early in our marriage, we taught in the public school and had summers off. So when we lived in this place that had all this land and all these tractors, we gardened 3 acres of it. And so we definitely have
a big garden.
Yeah, it is. It was borderline a farm,
legit. I was going to school and then working part-time at a hardware store where we had to recycle the seed every year. Mm-hmm. So we couldn't legally sell last year's seed, and the owner was very strict about it. So he was like, do you want this old seed? And it was all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And then we had free reign,
free tractors and all this land.
Hop on a tractor and just tear the earth up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to town with that. Right, so
right.
I just remember,
I was going to do that anyway.
Right.
So now that I got this seed,
our landlord said, because I had never really even pulled weeds, and I remember him saying, "Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint."
Yeah.
And I remember also he would say, "Yeah, you're on the short road now." meaning you're almost at the end of this job or you're almost done. And so all these metaphors they're very real to us, and we have these real experiences of like plowing that long row and don't look back, just put your head down and keep working.
I love that verse, no man who puts his hand to the plow
and looks back
is fit for the kingdom of God.
I think it
Luke 9:62.
It's very easy to look back, and not just back, but to look over your shoulder and around and what everybody else is doing and compare yourself and to feel like, oh, I'm not where I want to be, or don't look too far forward in some ways, and don't look back or to the side too often in a way that you're distracted or discouraged. But it's, to me, where we are in our career, I just want to kind of put our heads down metaphorically and just plow the row in front of us and take the steps that are in front of us and not worry about what everybody else around us has done or is doing or what's in our past or too far in our future, but just put your hand to the plow and work and persevere and keep living, and that's your path. Walk it. And that's what it means to me right now, but it could mean something different to somebody else, or probably mean something different to me in 2 years.
Yeah. That and that one, I wanted it to sound poetic, and I think I would probably rather be known as a poet than a songwriter. I think if you I would hope that you could take some of my songs and just read them and appreciate the meter of it.
No, don't look.
More from Songs of the Folk in just a few moments. I want to note a couple of things. The thing I said about freedom, you have to listen to all the episodes to understand that, so that's extra motivation for you to go back and listen to the first 2 episodes with Songs of the Folk. Also, you might have heard Lauren mention something about eating a chipmunk. That's because a cat was eating a chipmunk outside the window. Happens about every 3rd episode. You can find Songs of the Folk at songsofthefolk.com. Also, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram, and there will be links in the show description, of course. You can find the podcast by searching WNC Original Music wherever you get your podcast, or going to WNCOriginalmusic.com, or following us on Facebook at facebook.com/WNC Original Music, and lots of other places you can also find links to in the show notes.
This is Chloe Presley. You are listening to WNC Original Music.
Running down the mountain, he's running from his home. He's running down the mountain, he's headed for the road. He's running down the mountain, he won't be left alone. He's running on, running on.
She's a leaving, she's headed down the road. His lady, she's a leaving, but she don't know where to go. His lady, she's a leaving, she's running on her toes.
She's running on, running on. She pushed and shoved and beat her down. Now she's leaving him for good. She pushed and shoved and beat her down. Now she's leaving him like she should. She pushed and shoved and beat her down, but up to him she stood by running on, running on.
The going will be hard with a baby in her belly. She can't get very far with a baby in her belly and another one in her arms. She's running on, running on. She figures she can wait it out.
The sheriff is her pa.
She figures she can wait it out.
Now that the sheriff's on the draw,
She figures she can wait it out.
she can't outrun the law. They're running on, running on, running on, running on. Two fingers on two triggers, they made it to the hill. Two fingers on two triggers, then everything was still. Two fingers on two triggers, and all their blood was spilled. And running on, running on, running on, running on, running on, running on.
Running, running, running on. Running on. One baby made it out alive. She never went back home. One baby made it out alive. Now she's got children of her own. One baby made it out alive. She's thankful for her mom.
For running on, running on, running on, running on, running on, running on.
That's just running on is another story that could be true, and it probably is, but it's not written from our own knowledge of a story. And I always say it's that like Southern Gothic genre, like Faulkner and Ron Rash and that kind of thing. That's the picture it puts in my head. It's kind of bleak, and a story of a woman who's strong and who's fighting her way out of a bad situation. And sometimes running away from something is a cowardly move and not the right thing to do. But in this story, it is the right thing to do. And I like the ending, the twist of there's a child at the beginning in her arms, in the mother's arms, and even though the mother doesn't make it, the child makes it out alive. So, you know, I just think of it as a great kind of mountain. I guess it could be anywhere, but I think of she's running down the mountain, so I think it's a like old Appalachian setting.
Yeah,
But it could still be applied to modern day, you know, a toxic or unhealthy relationship. And she gets out and she doesn't make it, but the child does.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's one of the songs that I had that, you know, because it's just sort of Hollis Brown type. Dum, 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 where it's just sort of a drawn ostinato. I don't know. It's just this pattern that sort of maintains the song, and that's it. You know, and there are a couple moments where I play some different things, but it's mainly that pattern throughout the song. And so I had that, and I thought, well, here we go. Bam, I've got this song. And then for some reason, the story or the words just evaded me. Like I came up with so many bad lyrics for that song, and
trying to force them in there.
Yeah, and it literally set on my little recorder at least a year and a half, and every now and then I would just come back to it and see if something just struck, and nope. And I come back and nope, and then finally something did, running down the mountain, and then I guess that just launched into the story of it. But that's how it goes for me, at least. Is some songs are easy, some are hard. That's the nature of it.
Sings it well, but her pa don't care too much. She finally found her touch for tuning him out and leaving the country. Era seeks to find her own. She finds out what she owes ain't what she's got. But Era, she knows that heartless desire will render you poor, when having less just means it's worth more. And Arabelle sings. To find a spot in a crowded world. Arabelle, she sings it well, but she can't get past the dimes. She's finally realized what a pa had known all of his life. Give them hell and sing for all that it's worth. You're singing out your hurt, and you're singing for all the lonely hearts. And Arabelle sings.
Arabelle, yeah.
That's what do they say? Art imitating life. A girl who's
that song's not about us at all.
A girl who's a singer trying to make it in the world, and playing in the dives, just trying to make it as a singer, find her way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the whole theme of the song, and I wanted a character that I could relate to, but that was not like me at all. And so this idea of maybe, she's singing country ballads and honky-tonk joints in 1987 or something.
With a perm, or,
Yes, she's got a perm, definitely. Yeah. But again, I love names and language, and I wanted a Southern female name. And I went through the litany of,
you hear Annabelle
Marianne
and
Annabelle
folk music.
Annabelle and these sort of like these compound names,
Yeah.
And so I was like, Arabelle. Yeah, that's it. I like that. And, naturally I went to Google to see if that was a legitimate name, and it's not. So that's even better. It's
you made it a legitimate
name. I made up a name. That's
we keep
wonderful.
waiting, like, this is my daughter, Arabelle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my cousin's name.
No, I'm waiting for somebody to name their child after the song.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yes, of course. I did have a student, I think, named his dog after.
That's not the same.
That's pretty close for some people. That's a child.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than like naming them after Game of Thrones characters.
Right.
So that's Arabelle's story, but it's also maybe our story a little bit, and it's also a lot of other musicians' stories.
It is sometimes a very cathartic song to sing in the right venue.
Yeah.
Right before you mentioned the tip jar.
Yeah.
Look at this, just in case you're wondering what the song's about.
Where have you gone, my love? Where have you gone? The darling of my poor old heart. Where have you gone? My house sits quiet every hour. The wooden floors lay still. The darling of my poor old heart. Where have you gone?
Power of Heart. Is that right?
Poor old heart.
Poor old heart. Yeah. I thought it was a Huey Lewis song.
Poor Old Heart is the only song I've ever contributed to lyrically. We were living in Georgia while Tyler was working on school stuff at UGA, and one Sunday afternoon he just started playing this riff on the mandolin, and I just started humming a melody, and then the words came to me. Where, oh, where have you gone, my love? And he kind of helped me edit through, make it a little more poetic. And I don't know, we just sat there and kind of hammered it out.
We did it. We never changed it.
Yeah.
It happened right then and there that day.
Yeah.
And we were living in this really cool but really small. I mean,
smaller than this.
A little bit bigger than this room.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Like
And,
1800s. It's the original tiny house.
With this little fireplace, and the kitchen was like just a cupboard that opened.
Yeah.
And
wooden floors, wooden walls,
these
wooden
awesome
ceiling.
wooden floors, and I think it inspired that riff, and then I think it inspired Lauren's language there. I mean, that's such a beautifully classic.
Wooden floors.
Where have you gone, my love? That's a great.
It feels very southern, and he says in Llewyn Davis, the movie, I think he says it's never new, or it's always old, and I'm getting it wrong.
It's a song that was never new and never gets old.
Right. Yeah. And I think it is one of those songs. Like, do I know this? It's familiar but
enough,
new.
Yeah, it has that kind of plaintive, not the murder ballad tradition, but some other tradition, like there's just a heartache.
Yeah.
Not even that. That sounds too just regular country music. But I know what you're...
No, but it is. It's
kind of a yearning feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bleak.
Mm-hmm. You kind of look like Oscar Isaac.
Thank you. All right. I think it's the lighting. Usually I get Donny Osmond.
No.
I'll take Oscar Isaac. He's a singer too. Have you ever heard his music?
Not outside of that movie, but I would listen to it based on...
of course he sang in a movie. But he had like some pop songs, sort of pop indie songs out before the movie. I think that's what helped him get that.
I would listen to him.
One of them is, I don't know because I've heard it. I don't know if it's just I've heard it so much because when I go to like Pandora and type in like the Llewyn Davis station, that song comes up, and it's like not folk music, and I'm like, what is this song? I looked and it was him, but it has you might recognize it. It was, I don't know if it was a hit, but it's
we'll look it up.
Pretty good. It's a good pop song, All right, guys. Oh, I forgot to ask a couple of nonsense questions real quick. Do you believe in ghosts?
I believe in the possibility of ghosts.
I don't, but I believe in angels.
Okay. Oh yeah. I'm talking about like specifically ghosts, not
like spooky ghosts.
Yeah.
Or
no, I don't let myself because I would be too scared of them if I did believe in them.
That is a correct answer.
We'll just say no.
Yeah. What country best represents your personality? Not USA.
Well, USA definitely does not best represent my personality.
All right.
I think it's some sheep herding town. It's whatever town is in Waking Ned Devine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is that Scotland?
Yeah. Like remote where they just eat bread and chicken and walk home from the bar and live their lives very simply.
So I'll say Scotland for you.
Yeah.
Man, that is an interesting question. I think there's a little bit of a Canadian sentiment in me in that, but then there's also maybe a reckless. I can be very harsh in a way. Maybe I am more American than I thought.
Maybe Somalia, maybe not that harsh. I think a reckless.
Oh man, let's just go with the Kiwis. I think I'm a New Zealander.
That's a good one. Pick from these superpowers: Flight, Super Strength, Invisible, or ESP?
Oh God, not ESP.
No, I don't want to know what people are thinking.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Flight, what's the second one?
Flight, Super Strength, Invisible, or ESP?
Flight, because I get tired of having to drive everywhere.
Well, here's the thing, though. This is a trick. This is a trick question. You can fly, but you fly at the same speed that you walk.
Well, then what's the point?
Wow.
You can skip traffic, you know. It's easy on your feet.
Wow, look at me go.
Like Chris Angel, you know, he just kind of comes up a little bit.
Hovering.
Moves. Great trick, Chris. You hopped slow.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to thank Songs of the Folk for being on the show. That's the third of 3 episodes, so I'm going to miss having them on the podcast, but maybe we can do it again sometime. Make sure to go and follow them at songsofthefolk.com, and make sure to search your streaming services, including Apple and Spotify, for their new single called Nice and Slow. That's the first song you heard on the podcast episode tonight, or today. I don't know when you're listening, and actually when I'm recording it, it's not tonight, so I don't know why I said that. Anyway, look for WNC Original Music wherever you get your podcast, or go to WNCOriginalmusic.com, and also follow us on Facebook and Instagram for lots of extras, including videos, and then we'll have a couple of videos from this episode as well. There's starting to be a lot more live music being played, live and local music, so if you can safely go out and enjoy some live music. In the meantime, make sure to support your local artists by buying their music online and purchasing their merchandise, or just going to their Patreon pages or similar tip jar type pages or sites and supporting them monetarily. For our closing song tonight, we have a tune from Eric Case. Eric is a singer-songwriter from Chicago, Illinois. And if you don't know this already, the best way to get your song on the podcast, if you're not from Western North Carolina, is to name your song about North Carolina. Or I'm from a little town in North Carolina called Wilson, so if you want to write a song called Wilson, that would be even better. I played that like 3 times on one episode. But anyway, this song is called Carolina. It appears on Eric's latest release, Sweet Relief, and it's available on Apple Music and Spotify. And also you can find him on Facebook.com/This is Eric Case. This is Eric Case. Have a good week.
Carolina, don't you call my name. No, I'm never gonna be the same. Carolina, don't you bring me back till the sun don't shine and the moon turns black. 'Cause I don't really want to know that it's time. Carolina, don't you say a word, saying nothing that I haven't already heard. Carolina, don't you sing that song, just pack your things and move along to your crooked coastal plains and the pines. Oh yeah. 'Cause I don't wanna go. 'Cause I don't wanna go. Oh no, say goodbye. I wanna say goodbye. Carolina, don't you ring that bell. Got something to say, you just go to hell. Carolina, don't you make a sound till they lay my body in the cold gray ground. Till the
they lay my body in the cool gray ground. Oh, I don't wanna go. 'Cause I don't wanna go. Oh no. 'Cause I don't wanna go.
And then one time a bird built a bird's nest in my sun visor up there, like overnight.